In the last episode of Sky Tamer 2 Grandmaster, we played against our first Grandmaster. We played a lot of battle cruisers and they looked super strong. In this episode, I'm going to be trying to find the best build possible with all the air units I can think of. We're going to be starting in Masters 1, 4727 MMR, which means Grandmaster is imminent. Let's do it. Alright, first opponent is gonna be a protoss. Now, since the last episode, or was it 2 episodes? I think it was last episode, I have been a little bit scared of protoss because the protoss Allins do seem very, very scary. I'm gonna propose the following. I'm gonna keep doing the exact same thing. I mean, you guys know me by now. I am sometimes even annoyingly stubborn in changing the rules. Like, I always want to change, or always want to stick by the rules as much as I can, even if it means I'm gonna die to a, you know, a silly cheese that I can't defend. But if it happens again that we're gonna get cheesed to death by protoss and there seems to be nothing we can do, maybe we can make a small change in the rules, switch to phase 2 against protoss. But I mean this in a very light way, so I don't mean we're suddenly allowed to make mass tanks or whatever. I was more thinking maybe you can make 1 or 2 tanks or so, you know, or maybe like 2 tanks per base, something like that, to a maximum of 5 and only defend with them. So I can't really kill my opponents with it, but we won't die to a bunch of cheeses all the time. But, you know, let's see how it goes. So far, I think we only have 1 loss, so who knows? Maybe it's we're gonna pass with flying colors, but we'll see. Now, I don't think we've played against Kelsier before. Kelsier? Not sure how you pronounce that. I'm also not going to go for a double gas this time. Actually, the first game in an episode, I always really like to play macro games because it's a nice warm-up. I tend to get a better feel for the units. Like, let's say I would win game 1 with a proxy Banshee. I would still not really get a good feel for what I can really achieve with my Sky Army, right? If I do get to a full-fledged Sky Army at some point. Like, obviously, with my other challenges, other videos going on, you know, with me posting 2 videos a day, not every day, but sometimes, and streaming. It's not like I only do Sky Terran builds, right? So sometimes I do need to regain my feel for the composition. If you guys enjoyed the challenge, by the way, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also leave a like on the video. It's very easy to do, just 1 click, and it's going to help me out a lot, so would definitely appreciate that. I hope he's not going to put a pylon here. Sometimes they make a pylon there. I think it happened in the last episode or 2 episodes ago. Or maybe it was a marine episode, I'm not sure. And it doesn't really feel like the biggest deal, but sometimes it's just annoying to have to deal with a pylon blocking your natural. Now here I'm actually not following his probe, I'm just going to go for a scout. I think if I send an SCV and a Reaper combined, you should always be able to scout. There's actually a technique if you have the APM to spare, which is that you can hotkey your SCV and your Reaper separately. And then you can just keep your SCV on the back of the mineral line where the gateway isn't, and use the Reaper at the same time. So now if he would chase my SCV, my Reaper should be able to get damage, though on this map it's a little bit big, so it's gonna arrive late. But you can see the idea here. I could be able to kill a worker, but I wasn't because, you know, it's a big map, I arrived a little bit late. But you got the idea, and I scouted his entire base and I got to see he was going for a Twilight Council, so mission actually succeeded. You know, normally if you go for a Reaper expand, if you trade the Reaper for a scout, you consider it worth it usually, because that's, you know, that's the entire point of the Reaper. You want to get a scout off, and more than that is just extra. But in this case, I actually kept it alive, but I did lose the SCV, which is economy. So it kind of depends on what you put your priorities on. Now, I'm definitely going to have to make a bunker with my limit of 5 Marines. Now, you guys have made some interesting suggestions, by the way, in the comments. As always, I still read all of your comments. And the suggestion I've been seeing a lot is that the rule of, you know, 5 Marines should be that I'm always allowed to have 5 Marines on the field. So if I lose them, I can rebuild them. This is something I could try. If you guys have any more opinions on that, let me know. It's definitely something I could try. Though, yeah, I don't know. I think for now I'm actually kind of okay playing like this, but I definitely think it's gonna get harder and harder, right? One thing that's really difficult about this challenge is that I simply cannot spend my minerals at some point, right? Because everything just costs 1 million gas. Oh, that's actually a free adept there. Now, he does get to see that I'm making Cloak Banshee, so it's definitely not completely free. But it's alright. I mean, it's, you know, I think having that alive is actually more annoying than him getting his scout off. Now, let's see if it's a 4-gate blink or something else. He's making a battery, so that means he's going to be more defensive. He does have a bunch of stalkers. Blink is not going to be ready yet. And I think I'm going to go... Last time I went for BCs, now I'm going to go for the double port Banshee. And I'm going to have to rely on doing counter damage here. Now, I think I'm actually going to go for a triple starport on 2 base setup. The lack of third should mean that this is 4-gate blink, which is in theory the unholdable thing. Right, but we'll see. My plan here is to maybe make Vikings to snipe the Observer. Let's see. He actually doesn't have that many gateways. Maybe he's going for like Colossus or something? His stuff is... Oh yeah, it is Colossus. Okay, no 4-gate blink then. That is very nice to see. It's actually kind of weird, by the way. We played against so much 4-gate blink. In some of the challenges, I think we played against 4-gate blink like 10 times in a row against Protoss. But here, I'm actually not even sure if we ran into it yet. I want to say at least once, but even that I'm not 100% sure on. Now, I do think my composition has potential here. Banshee Viking. I'm going to be trying to snipe the Observer and then just ravage with the Banshees. This was obviously never work against Stargate because they just revelate your units with the Oracle. But against this composition, it might actually work out. I was getting a Forge as well. He's really setting up for the macro game. And I'm really excited for this one because my Speed Banshees could actually go ham in this scenario. Wait, did I see an Observer? Like, the Observer is definitely somewhere. It should be around here, I think. It would be kind of weird if the Observer's not here yet. Or maybe he's keeping it at home because he saw my... Yeah. My cloak. I'm actually just gonna fly these back. Normally, I wouldn't fly these all the way back home for this. I would stay around and do damage. Because if you make Banshees, you want to do damage. But in this case, I'm actually gonna use them when I have speed. Now, he did get a really good scout off there with that Observer, even though I killed it, which is nice. You know, better than having it fly around in my base forever. He did get a really good scout off. So I need to realize, or maybe find an idea of how I'm going to use these units. I actually have a pretty crazy idea. I think I should go exactly for what I mentioned. I'm actually not going to repair these anymore. It's just going to take a little bit too long. I want to go now. And if it's one Banshee less, it's probably not the biggest deal. Now, it's surprising how many starports you can actually afford, by the way. Like, I'm consistently producing from 3 starports, and I can even afford more stuff. So here, I think the idea is pretty obvious. I'm just going to try and snipe the Observer and then ravage him with the Banshees, basically. Because Speed Banshees are incredibly good if they don't play Stargate. Still, if he's in position like he was here, I'm not going to get too much damage done. The one thing that's actually a little bit annoying is that the Vikings take over the priority. As you can see, I cannot cloak that easily. Okay, let's see. I don't see the Observer. Oh, there's an Observer right there. Oh, we actually got it. Oh, this is actually massive. Look at this. Now, this battery is actually countering everything so far. But I do have more scans. Now, this has to be the craziest thing this guy has run into, I'm pretty sure. Now, he has another Observer in his main, surely. Else it would be a little bit weird. He's making Phoenixes. What the hell is that? Okay. Huh. That is actually a surprising move. Against Speed Banshees it makes sense, but he saw that I also had a million starports, making other stuff than Banshees. Okay, so he's gonna go for the Phoenix route. Do I even need a planetary I made the eBay so I can make a planetary fortress. I'm not sure if I need it against what he's doing. I do think my saturation does not look fantastic, though. What's that? 70 SCV is pretty good. But the Phoenixes are gonna scare me. I'm actually just gonna start a few more Vikings instead of Banshees here. Let's see, once I get the money. Vikings are super expensive, by the way. I think Viking is one of the most expensive units for, you know, no disrespect to the Viking. Well, actually, totally disrespect to the Viking, but I think it might be one of the most costly units for what you expect it to be when you see what it does. Because you saw there in that fight, they are pretty much made out of paper, to be honest. Like, they are not much stronger than paper. And now, let's see, is that a real one? It could be a real one. Probably not, if I had to guess. Yeah, it is fake, that's what I thought. Okay. Let's see, he might be going for carriers. Yeah, but that is an interesting choice, huh? Now, this is a situation that could actually end up being really good for us, or really bad. I mean, he's going for carriers, or maybe he's just getting Phoenix. He's making Phoenixes. You can see he's making Phoenixes in all of these. Is he just making that for Phoenix range? I did just make a second eBay for no reason. That's a little bit of a mistake, but it's okay. Yeah, I mean, I have no... Like, the problem here is, guys, I could go across with these Vikings, but if we ever run into the scenario where he kills all of my... If he has enough Phoenixes to kill my Vikings, you know, he's gonna kill everything I have, basically, so that is a little bit scary. I easily have enough Banshees to just kill all of this, so that is no big deal at all. Let's see. Actually, I have enough Vikings here. This is the craziest fight ever, by the way. Have you guys ever seen this? Let's be honest. Have you guys ever seen this fight? Viking Banshee against Stalker, Colossus, Oracle, Phoenix? He's trying to get my Banshee so I can't kill his ground. What on earth did we actually get ourselves into, guys? I killed the last observer too. I mean, he actually has Revelation now, so it doesn't matter as much. But the 3-base Viking Banshee timing? Is that what we're doing? I guess it is. Okay. Oh, he does have a lot of Stalkers there. See? Oh, yes! If you can get those. Did we get all of them? Almost. Okay. Now, I'm definitely gonna land these at some point. I'm gonna get my servos upgrade so I can land them a little bit faster. Let's see. The problem with the speed here is that the Banshees are actually too fast, so they keep flying in front of my army. Sounds like a bit of a first world problem. I guess it is. I think the same happens with observers sometimes. Like, look how many freaking Vikings I have. He's gonna lose all of these guys. That is insane. Does he have anything else building, really? That's like, how many pros is going now? It feels like it's like 40 pros dying over here. Oh my goodness. That's a little bit crazy. You thought he would, you know, you would think he would pull them back at some point, but I guess not. And now I can actually just camp his Stargates too. He's probably really wondering what the hell he's getting owned by. Like, this has to be one of the weirdest things that he's faced, like, ever. I mean, his response was also very unique. Okay. I can land all of... Actually, he blinked forward, I think, so they're all just gonna get obliterated. The landed Vikings, guys. Oof. Oh, I do need to get some Banshees out again. Like, I don't think he's gonna out-Phoenix me anymore, so... Let's see. I'm gonna land a few of these, actually. That seems like the best idea. Like, one Viking per Stalker, the Vikings actually win. I believe, so... I mean, at this point, he has very little workers left. I think it's maybe a good time to make a fusion core as well. Let's get this base saturated. Get a base over there, some turrets as well. Always nice. Come on, Vikings. Do your job. There you go. He's making even more here, which is kind of fascinating. Gonna get the fusion core. He's trying to go around to snipe my Banshees. I saw that, though. Read him like a book there. Oh, he is actually getting a lot of those. Okay, we have to be careful. He has more out than I thought. I guess there's a few Stargates probably that are still kind of producing from maybe his third or his fourth base, I would guess. Actually, I'm not sure which of his bases is which. I do like how he's trying to outrange my my Vikings. Vikings literally like the longest range air unit in the game. Well, besides Tempest, I suppose. Or maybe Brute Lords against ground. And there we go, GG. Okay. For a second, I was scared he was going to overpower us. Guys, this was very enjoyable. This was one of the craziest games, most satisfying games ever. Because normally, if I experiment with weird Terran compositions, it feels like it has a strong counter. What he did on paper might be very good, but the timing we hit, where I still had more Vikings than Phoenixes, we just absolutely clobbered him. 8k against 16k units lost, fantastic double, pretty much. You know, I had 6 Banshees, 20 Vikings left. The income was probably pretty crazy as well. Alright, I'm very happy with this game, guys. Fantastic warm-up game. Let's keep it going. Alright, game 2 is against Liquid Phlegm. Hey, wait a second, guys. I think this might be one of my students. Unless there's multiple people called Liquid Phlegm, which I kind of doubt. I'm pretty sure this is one of my students. I guess you'll be watching this video then. What's up, buddy? I hope you won. Else, you know, might feel a little bit guilty about that. But let's see if you got better. How about that? Let's see if you did better than last time. Nah, just kidding. Right, so it's a TVT. It is on Stark. I always find this map a little bit tricky because it's very different from all the others. How do I want to deal with this? I think so far in TVT we've been doing pretty good. Excuse me. Besides that one game, I think the guy's name was Captain Club or Club Captain, something like this. And he just absolutely obliterated us with Marines only. Like every single... It felt like I was playing as one of my own challenges, you know? It was just mass Marines running into my Liberator zones and against my Banshees and just like... Psh, 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 killing everything. Man with gun. Absolutely destroying the sophisticated Sky Army. But besides that game, I think we've looked pretty good in TVT. We had that really sick game against a guy called La Lechuga where... Yeah, it was just perfect. Absolute domination from the start. So I guess it's gonna be either of the two. Hopefully we are not gonna get our first loss. That would be a little bit annoying. Oh, actually, I do need to scout here. That's a little bit late of a scout. I guess because the map is relatively small, it's not gonna matter too much. But still, it is important to scout on time. Now, normally, I would never take this... Actually, thinking about it, normally I would never take this back base in TVT. It's actually not a great idea with drops and all that. Very risky to take that base. But if I'm gonna play mass air, theoretically it shouldn't be a crazy idea, right, to take the back base. Because I will be able to control the, you know, the drop spots and all that. I'm gonna get my factory down. Let's see what we have going on. I have very little time to scout because my scout is very late. As you can see, I have about 10 seconds. Oh, it's a reactor first. Reactor expand. Okay. So we're still doing crazy builds, I see. Okay, that's noted for our next coaching session. We're still doing absolutely crazy builds. So yeah, I'm simply gonna be doing a good amount of damage here with my my Reaper. And behind that, I'm just gonna be expanding myself. Though, actually, he could be making 2 Reapers as well. This can actually be quite interesting. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen after this, because he could be making 2 Reapers as well. It's pretty hard to dive all the way here, right? Now, I can definitely kill this one SCV. That is for sure. And if it's Reapers, I can still get out. Just in time, probably. Oh, it's actually a Marine. Okay, then I'm just gonna go back in. What if it's a Reaper and a Marine? Aha, that's sick. Dude, I'm gonna give you credits for this in the next coaching session. Never mind. I'm not gonna nag you. This deserves credits. Oh, it's a pretty close micro battle. The Reaper grenade actually bugged out there. Like, his Reaper didn't actually jump. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, I think we killed one SCV. We delayed SCC for a bit. Besides that, you know, I don't think there was anything too interesting to scout here. So we're just gonna go into... well, I was gonna say a normal macro game. Definitely wouldn't call it that, what we're about to do to each other. But, or what I'm about to do to him, I should say. But we'll see. I'm just gonna mine this out. Probably get a gas here right away. And... are we gonna go for... yeah, I mean, I'm already starting a Banshee. Oh, I'm actually gonna get supply block. Wait, I made my CC too late. Why would I get supply block here otherwise? It doesn't make any sense. I must have made my command center too late. This is not a time you can't even get supply blocked at normally, so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, that's slightly unfortunate. But at least I'm going to be able to start mining for my gas right away pretty much, so that's all good. I'm just gonna... how do I split my Marines here? So he was... yeah, I guess there's nothing too threatening that can come up from a reactor first, right? Oh, actually gonna... oh, that's really nice. I didn't think we were gonna get that Reaper. Very nice that we did. Now launching that mule there is a little... wait, I didn't mine it out still. Hurry up, please. Mine it out right now. You stay, you stay, you stay, you stay. You also stay. There you go. You stay. Okay. It's a little bit annoying to micro that sometimes, but it's all good. Oh, I did actually make an extra reactor on accident. I guess I'll just put my... I'll just put my factory on one of them, so it looks like I'm making Hellions. That's the most mind game I can do, really. I'll just do it like that, because why not? Now, I'm very tempted to move out these Marines to the Watchtower. Normally, you can't move out with Marines like that, only to scout. Because if he has a bunch of Reaper Hellion, like what they normally have... yeah, you just lose your Marines for free. But I think... since I'm mostly going to be able to defend with my Sky Army anyway, 5 upgradeless Marines are not going to make the difference. I think we're going to be okay in sending these out. Now, the supply block really sucks here. My second Banshee was supposed to be finished ages ago. Now, since this is secure, I'm just going to put a Marine on, like, each possible path. And then I think we should be pretty good. Now, it's really big that he doesn't have this... oh, so it's a double drop. Okay. Oh man, this is actually not great, guys. Man with gun, we've seen it before. Man with gun against Sky Terran. Though the thing is, his build is really bad against Banshees. If you play double, like 2-on-1 drop against Banshees, you can't really counter the air units at all. So this is about to get interesting. He should be dropping my base. If he doesn't drop my base, he's just in massive trouble. Okay, let's see. Let's kill that. Is he gonna... yeah, he's just gonna stim forward. Okay. Now, but these Banshees are just gonna kill pretty much everything. That is the problem for him here. I'm gonna have to use my landed Vikings to survive this. And actually, he... oh, this is not a great fight for him. He could have taken a way better fight. But instead, he's actually gonna struggle a lot here. I'm gonna lift one of these Vikings. So I can... oh, lift all of them, I mean. So I can kill the Medivacs. Alright, he just lost to the Banshees. Okay. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this could have been a disaster, but it wasn't. I think if my opponent... and I respect this decision making to go slow, because in a normal TVT, Let me show you where his units were. You can't just YOLO through the middle. But I think in this case it would have been the best. You see all these units finishing, right? If he would have just straight dropped in my natural, which seems really crazy, but if he did it, I think it would have been a tight game. I would have had to defend with my banshees. I wouldn't have time to send them out, and it could have been rough. But if it doesn't happen, I feel like I talked about it a lot in my Marine Medevac series. You just can't counter Banshees. It doesn't really have a counter outside of like Cyclones and Vikings and stuff, which you usually make in every TVT. But Marines just don't do the trick. You scan, they fly away, and it just takes too many resources. With a 2-on-1, I also explained this in my Marine Medevac series. Check it out, by the way, if you haven't. But it's such a tight build, you can't really afford turrets at all. Here he was trying to make turrets reactively, which was a good attempt. But yeah, 2 Banshees in the base, too much damage. Wasn't able to make it happen in my base, which is fantastic. For me, at least, not for my student. I'm gonna give you some more homework next time. Alright, just kidding, I'll stop. Anyway, let's move on to game number 3. Micro Jackson, a 4.7k Protoss player. Okay. Now I feel like I got this fear from playing my challenges, but I have an extra fear of playing against Protoss because, you know, I think it started with the Ghost challenge actually. I feel like before the Ghost to Gem challenge, the matches were pretty balanced overall, but in the Ghost to Gem, you get tortured so much by Protoss that now I just kind of get scared when I see a Protoss logo pop up on the screen. Now, I was actually right. Liquid Phlegm was my student. He actually messaged me after the game. He was like, dude, I wasn't paying attention. It's you. And then he wished us to have a great video. So if you guys are having a great video, you know, shout out to Liquid Phlegm for blessing us with a nice video here. Now, we are going to be playing on a macro map, Cosmic Sapphire. You know, I would always love to do something with the gold, but I just don't know if there's a build that fits with me taking the gold base early on. I think we're just going to have to approach it in a normal way. This is the map where we rocked with battlecruisers, and I will never forget. That's the last episode, by the way. Make sure to check it out if you haven't. But I'll never forget how freaking effective battlecruisers were on this map. Airspace everywhere, more airspace. I put airspace in your airspace. It's just, you know, it's really hard to counter those. So maybe whenever we get this map, I should just go for BCs, because we beat a GM Protoss with it, who was, for some reason, we queued in against that guy. That guy was 5k MMR, way higher than anyone else we've played against. Oh, I wasn't paying attention there. It's actually a little bit too much damage on the SCV. Might have to send an extra one. A little bit of a mistake by me. Happens to the best. Not gonna get too sad about it. It's gonna cost me a little bit of mineral switch. I really, actually, I say a lot of times that pro gamers don't care about small details, but some things do feel like they matter a lot. Like here, really things like this, like if a Protoss harasses you really well with his probe, you have to pull an extra SCV, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes it just feels like you don't have money to execute your build anymore. Like I'm doing a double gas already, which means I'm going to be pretty poor for the macro game. Here you can see I'm missing 35 minerals for my factory, which is not a huge deal, but it does always feel like, you know, it definitely contributes a little bit. Now, I could go straight into BC, but I feel like that build would just be absolutely psycho without playing siege tanks. Now, you know, I won't shy away from doing psycho builds now and then. But, you know, some things are also a little bit too crazy for me. Let's see. Now, by the way, I saw some people complaining in the comments. Or not really complaining, just mentioning that whenever someone did an interesting build, including me, I would call it psycho. I don't really mean to, like, offend or insult people when I say psycho. I mean, I literally call my own build psycho as well. It's just, maybe it's a little bit of a pro gamer thing, like in pro games. I mean, I'm not a pro gamer anymore, but obviously I still have a good level. In pro games, ooh, that's a cheese. You're just used to people playing, like, according to the rules, because those rules exist for a reason, you know. Pro gamers don't play the same formula every game because they want to be boring. They do it because it's good. So whenever something doesn't follow the rules, it instantly like weird, like what is this guy doing, you know? But in these challenges, obviously, I am mostly the psycho myself, so I don't really mean it in any negative way. Just think it's like a... Wait, is that a triple gate? It's mostly just like a fun, playful way, you know, to go about it. So there you go. Now this is actually going to be a bit crazy. Yeah, it's a triple gateway. Okay. Or 4? Okay, triple gate with a Twilight Council. Guys, can I survive this? I'm not sure. This might be that deadly cheese that we talked about. That if this cheese gets us, that might be it. Now, what comforts me is that he went for a Twilight Council. Because that means that he's not going to go 100% all in yet. And there might be some opportunities for me. Now, if he doesn't come up this ramp again, I have a cool strategy, I think. I'm gonna go for double Viking. And I'm gonna try to sneak them around into his main base. And if that works, I could simply kill 1,000,000 probes and then put myself into a good spot like that. If he catches them, though, I'm gonna lose a bunch of Vikings, which is gonna be rough. Now, one thing to keep in mind, in case you guys didn't know, a lot of you people asked me if I was gonna do my protoss series, if I could teach you guys some basics. As you guys know, I always give random tips when I'm playing, so I would do the same with protoss. But anyway, Blink is a freaking eternal upgrade, okay? Like, even with Chrono Boost, that takes so long to build. So I do know that his Blink is not gonna be finished too soon. Obviously, it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna finish in still a dangerous time, else he would not be going for a Blink build to begin with. Now, let's just hope he does not have this watchtower. I didn't want to take the time to fly all the way around, but since he's kind of like Allining me, I figured he would probably not have the watchtower anyway. Now, he could be taking the gold behind this. Keep that in mind. I talked about it before myself, or I thought about taking it, but he could be taking the gold himself. Yeah, that is a lot of stalkers outside my base. Ideally, actually, I think there's no way he should have a recall. If he has a recall, it's a mistake. Oh, no. If he's... Oh, that's actually a good distraction. Yeah, he doesn't have a recall. Yeah, that's gonna kill 1,000,000 workers. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. And why I said it would be a mistake is because he needs to chrono boost his blink, right? What is that? A robotics bay. Okay. So he's taking this base. Huh. Okay, I really thought it was gonna be the gold behind this. I'm just gonna try to ignore his zealots and just go past. This is actually turning out to be a really weird game. Now, this is a cool Viking chase, isn't it? I'm actually getting so many pros with this. That's crazy. I guess now is a good time to pick off and go away. I do need to get my base at some point, though. That is the annoying part here. And actually, wait, guys, he doesn't have money. He doesn't have money to warp in because I was chasing him around. That is actually sick. I was like, maybe he's gonna warp in some more stalkers, but he actually couldn't. And now... my base is safe to take and I can go for it. And I have 2 Banshees, so I can land these Vikings and try to fly my Banshees all the way around, because now he's gonna come across with everything, right? I'm gonna try to fly my Banshees around. And I'm only gonna be... Is that cloak building? Oh, it is cloak building. And I'm only gonna be making Vikings now, because Banshees are not gonna help me that much on the defense. Check the gold. Gold is not there. Banshees are not gonna help me that much on the defense, but the Vikings really are against the Stalkers. Now, he might blink into my main, but I actually think that is less scary. Because the scariest thing now is me dying completely, not me losing workers. If that makes sense. So, yeah, so he's gonna go into the main base. And this is a very good thing for me, guys, because now I'm gonna be able to kill all of his pros with these Banshees. And the Vikings at home, I don't even need to look at them. I know they're gonna be winning that fight pretty comfortably. And he also can't even recall. He's actually trying to fight them. Vikings are so strong, though. Yeah, I'm actually gonna YOLO them, I think. Let me actually put these SCVs properly. There we go. Not a lot of probes left, to say the least, right? I think it's probably time to make an extra starport as well. Try to resaturate these. Get back to my base. Make an eBay for DTs. Oh, he's actually gonna go for that. Don't think that's gonna work out very well. I'll be honest. That is yeah, a little bit of a crazy... Oh my god, he's completely destroyed. He's gonna lose everything here, guys. There we go. The Penguins do it. And this was potentially a very scary game, but our phase 1 is not retired yet because we did absolutely smash it. 1,500 against 2,800 resources lost, but most importantly... 35 workers killed in a 7-minute game. Look at his worker count, guys. He has 12 workers, okay? His income is absolutely... He was mining 44 gas a minute, 400 minerals. He could not even make a single Viking a minute with that income, guys. He could make 4 zealots, and that's quite literally... We had almost 4 zealots and a probe, but that's fantastic. I do think the games were short enough to warrant a 4th game, so let's go. Alright, our second Grandmaster player goes to protoss Squirtle. If you guys don't know who Squirtle is, it's not this guy, by the way, but Squirtle was one of the legendary protosses from Wings of Liberty. He had pretty much... It's actually a pretty tragic story, but tragic stories also have to be told. But Squirtle was... I think he was in IEM. Was he in IM? No, he was in StarTale. If you guys remember that, he was in StarTale, which was one of the OG big teams. You had Incredible Miracle, StarTale, and OGS, all generations. Those were pretty much the 3 biggest teams at the start. There are also some other big teams like TSL and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, Squirtle was a Protoss who was usually not amazing. For Korean standards, the Korean players were still way better than the non-Koreans back then. These days it's definitely a little bit different, but back then the Koreans were like gods to the foreigners, as they called us non-Koreans. But Squirtle was usually a pretty decent protoss. He was not like absolutely amazing for Korean standard, but he was decent. But at some point, he really found his rhythm. I think he got second in an IPL, losing to Alive. That was actually a massive tournament. I'm pretty sure the winner got like 50k or something. And then he was in the GSL. Played one of the best finals ever. Spoilers, by the way, if you still want to watch 11-year-old finals for some reason. Just kidding. But it was a final where it started a bit rough. Squirtle was actually the favorite against MVP, who ended up being the GOAT of Wings of Liberty. But he got 3-0 down. He started 3-0 down, and then he started playing amazing game after amazing game. Played one of the best games in GSL final history. And he got to 3-3 just to completely blunder a one game in Game 7. And after that, he never quite returned to the biggest stage. So yeah, I know there's a lot of legends in StarCraft 2, but there's also tragic stories like that now. This is definitely not that Squirtle, because Squirtle would probably be a little bit higher at MMR, but that is where the name comes from. And I can only imagine that even though Squirtle is also a Pokemon, that this guy probably has his name from the Protoss player. I'm just going to make sure to kill this probe. As always, it is Stargazer, so we're going to have to be a little bit careful. And there we go. And since he's Grandmaster, he is probably going to expect me to go for a normal follow-up to this. Like I said before, Double Gas is a normal opener in, you know, Grandmaster and above. And maybe even below. By the way, guys, I have a guide on Double Gas against Protoss, and whenever I get people in my Twitch chat saying, oh, this guide really helped me a lot, I'm still doing it every game, it's usually about that one. So if you're someone who struggles against Protoss, you should look up my guide. Now, I think the name of the guide is How to Play TVP as Solid as Steel. I think that's what it's called. I think it's Terran School number, I want to say 36. I mean, it could also be, I don't know, 37 or whatever, 38, 42. But I think it's somewhere around 36 or so. Now, we're actually playing against a... That's a Stargate. Okay, guys. I have a sick idea, though. Is it time to bring out the insane strategy and go for mass Vikings from the get-go? Oh, that would be beautiful, wouldn't it? That's oh, I didn't even realize that was an adept there. I'm actually just gonna do it, guys. Frick it. I could go for a double reactor. It would be very, very all-in, but it would also be very cool. He's not gonna pull the probes to kill that, which is actually a little bit surprising. There we go, he's trying to get in. He's actually gonna lose this adept now, which is fantastic. Oh, the wall though! He tried to get out while we walled him in. That is beautiful. Now, let's try to actually mine this. We got another probe there. Actually, I'm gonna fly this over. The adept died, so I don't have to hide it anymore. Ah, that's why I wasn't saturated. I was wondering, where the hell is my SCV count, guys? But I actually had a few guys following each other. That's unfortunate. I'm gonna make another reactor on these. This build I'm doing is probably too stupid. But I guess, you know, that is kind of who I am. So we're going to go for it. Now, I definitely noticed that playing Double Gas and building your CC here doesn't work out. If you play Reaper Expand, it works out because you only have one SCV by the time. But here, I just keep having to lift off my base when, you know, my CCs and stuff are already, or my SCVs and stuff are already there. You can see this feels a little bit silly. So he sees my double starport style. I wonder what his response is gonna be to it. Actually gonna cancel this cloak and fly that Viking on top of that too. Because now he might be expecting cloaked banshees. So his response should be to make an oracle. Simply put. And those are not gonna be as good against my mass Vikings, right? Oracles actually take extra damage from Vikings too, so they do die very fast. Now what is the good amount of Vikings to actually go across with? I wonder if I could do some kind of SCV pool with this. Wait, did I lose a Marine? I think I'm allowed to make 2 more Marines, right? Or actually, I can't even afford them, so why would I? I'm just gonna make more and more Vikings. Now, let's see if he's taken this base already. Doesn't seem like it. Oh, I'm actually very tempted to do a mass Viking all-in, but it's just so stupid. I think at this point it feels like I'm already committed, though. I might be doing the dumbest build yet of this entire show, but I guess that is kind of what the shows are about, right? Experimenting new builds, showing fun compositions and all that. While playing at a high level. So, yeah. An SCV pool would be weird, though, because it'd be mostly landed Vikings and I wouldn't be playing Sky Terran as much. But at this point, we have established that landed Vikings are allowed, so I should also be allowed to do a mass Viking all-in for once. Now, I'm just curious where his Phoenixes are, though. Let's see, are they somewhere? I don't have a scan. You know, he has a lot of... he has a shield battery, but he still can't out-heal these. Yeah, he actually got 3 there. Now, the problem is that he has immortals. And those I can't really deal with. He did actually use his guys, you know what? I'm just gonna say frick it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just gonna say frick it. And I'm gonna go for it. Because he used his overcharged battery. And I think if I don't go for this now, I'm not gonna have a way to win. Because everything I have is just too late. So we're just gonna freaking go for it. I pulled about half of my SCVs. Maybe a few more than half. I'm not sure. But here we go, guys. This is gonna be pretty epic, I think. Let's see if it works out. I have 15 Vikings, which is a really good number. I'm a little bit afraid that an observer has seen everything we've been doing so far. But we'll see. Oh, the battery's actually all the way in front. That's fantastic. So we're gonna gun that down. And then we're gonna... Oh no, attack, attack! What are you doing? Target the immortal instantly. Wait, he has another one? How fast does that recharge? Oh. Ah, man. I actually had to take so much time to target that battery, which is really unfortunate. Now, he's warping in Stalkers without Blink, by the way. That is probably the biggest mistake he could be doing right now. Because they can't escape the Vikings. Now, he does still have a few Phoenixes. Let me target the cannon. And then I can actually lift off. There we go. I'm actually going to kill the Phoenixes here. Okay. Guys. For a second, I thought we threw it all away with this strategy. But the freaking double reactor starport Allin actually saves our asses. I cannot believe the battery recharged that fast that he had it again. Like, to me, that is insane. Wasn't even close. Yeah, it was actually pretty close. Look, you can see it here, the cooldown. Or actually, you guys can't see that. I can tell you guys when it's back on. It's going to be off cooldown. Actually, right, he uses it instantly when it's off cooldown. So it was off cooldown this exact second. So I guess I hit like 5 seconds too late. But we still killed the Immortal in time. How many kills does this have? Oh, 3 Vikings. Okay, I actually thought I killed 5. Also, look at the amount of money he has, by the way. If he has that amount of units warped in, we are not winning. Obviously, if he warped in these Stalkers in the high ground, he was making another Disruptor. I'm not even sure if we're winning. Like, he leaves with a good amount of supply, a good amount of money. We're 10 supply up, but, I mean, 6 of that is over here, right? 8, 10 supply that is not even here, so it's pretty much even. And he has 600, 500. Anyway, I'm very grateful this worked. I was afraid I would throw away for a second. But that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. Make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and see y'all for the next one. Adios.